Picture this, a 15-year-old drill rapper named Lil Kso, just a teenager, but already building his buzz in Chicago's underground, dropping bars that had the city watching. But out of nowhere, the story flips. He's found gone too soon, and the way it all went down left the whole community shook. No forced entry, no signs of a struggle, just him sitting there, silent, still, and the most crushing detail.
This was someone's son, someone's brother, someone's whole world, and now their family is left to endure an unimaginable loss.
It was his mother who came home from work and saw that heartbreaking scene with her own eyes. Tears hit the floor before anyone could even ask what happened. The place felt cold, eerie, like something deeper had been brewing. And just like that, people started talking. Not just about Kso's rise, but about who might have been smiling in his face and switching sides behind his back. Now the streets instantly remembered the beef with Fullychop. Y'all might recall when Kso went viral. He got snatched up, embarrassed, and then Fullychop went online flaunting what he claimed was Kso's own stuff. Straight violation. People online were roasting Kso, and the disrespect didn't just stay on social media, it started to boil offline too. But when news of what happened to Kso hit the internet, two names started trending hard, Fullychop and Lil Speedy. Yup, the same Speedy who was always side by side with Kso, rapping in the same vlogs, clowning on IG Live like they were tight, like brothers. But turns out that bond may have been faker than a borrowed chain. And here's where it gets even more twisted. Fullychop just recently got caught up in a jail brawl, and everybody's saying it had to do with Kso. Meanwhile, Speedy, he was online acting reckless, saying things that had people raising eyebrows like, did he just admit to something? People started connecting dots, and let's just say the puzzle ain't looking pretty. In Chicago's drill scene, loyalty should be everything, but more and more it's looking like clout and clicks got folks switching up for nothing. Legacy runs deep, but in the trenches, earning your stripes sometimes means crossing a line you can never come back from. And in this case, the real danger wasn't lurking outside, it was right there, sitting beside him, smiling like a friend. Chicago's drill scene ain't just music, it's survival wrapped in beats and bars. It's a world where lyrics can double as warnings and where loyalty gets tested in the wildest ways. People think clout is just clicks and likes, but out here, clout is respect. It's your name in the streets. It's how people move when you walk in a room. And to get that clout, you gotta earn it by any means. That's why every Instagram live, every diss track, every sly comment in a story, yeah, all that carries real weight.
16. I was trying to play basketball, but that's around the time I ain't make the varsity team. So at 16 was when I was realizing this shit real. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Cause you know, after that point, like once you don't make that team, it's
because behind those lines, there's pain, real life drama, and moves that can't be undone. Every bar has a story. Every beef could turn into something way more. For Lil Speedy, this wasn't just a lifestyle, it was all he ever knew. His father was gone early, claimed by the same streets that were now shaping his future. With no one to lead him, Speedy looked up to his cousin Lil Jeff, a name that already had pull in the bloodhound circle. Jeff wasn't just family, he was the code, a walking legend in the hood, someone who made it known he had status. And Speedy, he wanted that same recognition, that same shine. Being bloodhound wasn't just a dream, it was the only plan. But there was a catch. Respect don't come cheap. And Speedy, he had no real stripes yet. No story that made people speak his name with fear or admiration. Meanwhile, Lil Kso was blazing his own trail, and fast. At just 14, he was already lit in the drill world. Wild confidence, viral antics, and a mouth that never stayed quiet. He flexed heavy, clowned on lives, and even had footage running straight at cops like he was untouchable. The fans ate it up. The blogs were watching. Kso was building his rep loud, bold, and fast. But that same energy, it came with consequences. It pulled attention from the streets, not just fans, but people who saw him as a threat, a rival, a name they couldn't ignore. Lil Kso's rise was fast, but that same buzz started to attract the wrong kind of heat. See, fans came running, but so did the hate. And in Chicago, enemies never keep it quiet for long. That's when Fullychop entered the picture, and things got real messy. The first spark between Kso and Chop. Word in the streets said Kso had hit up somebody close to Chop's camp. And when you're moving like that in the drill scene, it's not just music, it's personal. That kind of move doesn't get overlooked. It gets answered. Not long after, Fullychop flipped the whole narrative. He had an older homie get their hands on Kso's own piece, and what did he do with it? He made it public. Fullychop didn't just keep it low-key, he hopped online flexing like crazy, showing off, laughing, calling Kso a fraud, and basically trying to erase his credibility with one video. Now, in a world where clout is currency, losing something like that to your op is brutal. It ain't just a loss. It's straight up reputation damage. The internet ran wild. Memes, screenshots, people clowning. Overnight, Kso went from rising star to trending for all the wrong reasons, but Kso wasn't about to go out like that. He fired back on live, throwing shots, verbally, denying he ever got finessed, cussing, and warning Fullychop and his crew to watch their backs. He was angry, loud, and ready to make noise. But in drill culture, timing is everything, and perception, that's power. And right then, the narrative was clear. Fullychop had embarrassed him, and the streets were watching every second of it unfold. Then things got even more sideways. Another rapper, Anthony Smith, better known as Q50 or Lil 50, decided to pile on. He posted a video on his story taunting Kso and flashing what looked like Kso's own piece, laughing like it was all a game. And just like that, the disrespect spread even further. Kso didn't stay silent. He clapped back online asking straight up, "Who got my piece?" But nobody was owning up. He even leaked a chat between him and another name in the mix, Lil Scum, trying to explain what really went down. Same day, Kso reportedly got a ShotSpotter alert in his area. Nobody knows exactly what happened after that, but what's clear is this. Tensions were rising fast. Fullychop wasn't backing down. He went full throttle, posting a video on Instagram that shook the streets. Him and a crew standing outside Kso's house, aiming straight at it like they were making a statement. They weren't hiding nothing. It was all for show. And the message was loud. And Q50, he wasn't far behind. His involvement added more fuel to the already burning tension. Things between Kso's side and the other crew were heating up quick, and it was only a matter of time before everything spun out of control. Then word broke that one of the dudes who'd been clowning Kso, Q50, aka Lil 50, had been found down in a Chicago alley. Instantly, all eyes turned toward KSO. People were pointing fingers, whispering that he might have been behind it. But here's the twist. Around the time it all happened, Kso was locked up in a youth detention center. So if he wasn't there, then who was? It didn't take long before a new name popped up, Lil Speedy. Yeah, the same kid who used to be glued to Kso's side. The same one in all the videos, vibing like they were brothers. And that's when the real story started unraveling. From the outside, Kso and Speedy looked tight, always together on socials, cracking jokes, showing love, talking big. It looked like two young dudes building a legacy together. But in the Chicago streets, looks can lie and loyalty don't always last. December 4th, 2024, everything changed. That night, Kso was chilling at home with a few teens he trusted. Nothing seemed off. Speedy was there too, just another night kicking back until it wasn't. Out of nowhere, Speedy pulled something out and aimed it at the one person who thought he had his back. The silence before was calm. What came after? Pure betrayal. No warning, no argument, no chance to run. Just one move that changed everything. The wildest part, nobody called for help. Nobody stayed behind. The group scattered, leaving doors wide open, dropping phones and bouncing like it never happened. The house, dead quiet. Kso's body was left slumped in a chair, and the room frozen in time. Almost an hour later, his mom walked in from her shift only to find the unthinkable. Blood on the floor, shells everywhere. Her baby gone. Shaken, she called the cops and told them everything. The blood, the silence, the way the house felt wrong. When the cops pulled up to the scene outside Kso's house, what they found told its own story. Nearly a dozen shell casings scattered across the parking lot. There had been an attempt at CPR, but it was too late. By the time paramedics arrived, Kso was already gone. The silence in the streets didn't last long, though. Word spread like wildfire. But what really shook folks wasn't just that Kso was gone, it was how it went down and who was behind it. The streets were stunned. Fullychop and Speedy, two faces that used to be right beside Kso, were now the names being whispered the loudest. The betrayal cut deeper than any outside drama ever could. This wasn't a case of rivals clashing. It was friends flipping, and that hit different. Some said the whole thing started over a weed deal gone sideways. Others said Kso disrespected somebody and never made it right. But the theory that kept echoing through the blocks, people believe Speedy did it to earn his way into the Bloodhound set. That, in their world, the bigger the name you cross, the bigger the stripes you earn. And Kso, he wasn't just some nobody. He was building a name. He had eyes on him. So if that was the plan, the betrayal had to be loud and unforgettable. But just when you thought things couldn't get more cold-hearted, what Speedy did next had the internet in a frenzy. Not even a full day later, dude posted a story with 3 hat emojis. If you know Chicago slang, you know what that means. That wasn't a random post. That was a message. 3 hats equals 3 bodies. Translation, he was bragging. Acting like Kso was just another checkmark for the street resume. It was cold, calculated, and everyone caught it. Then Speedy doubled down. He went live on Instagram, rapping verses that sounded way too personal. Lines that felt less like lyrics and more like coded confessions. He even laughed at the comments that named him directly, ones calling him the one who did Kso dirty. It wasn't just the internet catching fire. Real voices in the street started speaking up too. And once the neighborhood starts talking, you know it's serious. Jada, the sister of Q50, the rapper who had been taken out earlier in the drama, posted something that got everybody's attention. She didn't say names, but the message was loud. She hinted that Speedy had backdoored Kso, and folks instantly started connecting the dots. From there, things snowballed. Locals, rappers, fans, all echoing the same suspicions. It was like the streets dropped their own verdict. Speedy was the one who made that move. And the biggest question floating around was why? Theories flew everywhere. Some said it was over a petty argument about some weed. Others thought Kso may have disrespected someone in Speedy's circle. But the most talked about reason, the one that actually lined up with Speedy's whole background, this wasn't just about beef. This was a move for status. See, for Speedy, this wasn't personal. It was calculated. People believe this was part of his entrance into the Bloodhound crew. A power play to prove he could do what others wouldn't. To him, taking out Kso wasn't about betrayal. It was about legacy. Speedy had always looked up to his cousin, Lil Jeff, who was already stamped in the gang. And now, Speedy was trying to write his own name in that same book. In the trenches, it's not always about who you love. It's about how far you're willing to go to be remembered. Loyalty gets tossed to the side real quick when status and survival are on the table. And Speedy, he wanted both. That's when the politics really started shifting. Fullychop, the same guy who had just clowned Kso all over the internet, suddenly started showing Speedy love. It wasn't random either. Subtle shout-outs, likes, shared posts. It was clear. Chop was stamping Speedy now. And with that cosign, everything flipped. Speedy went from being labeled a snake who turned on his own boy to being seen as a rising savage with real backing. The energy in the streets was shifting, and Speedy was right at the center of it. With alliances moving, respect changing hands, and loyalty getting questioned left and right, all eyes were on him. Online, the noise was loud, but legally, crickets. For months, not a single charge had been filed in connection to Lil Kso's end. The silence was deafening. Chicago PD confirmed what everyone already suspected. The scene looked like a planned hit. No forced entry, no mess, no signs of panic. Whoever did it knew what they were doing. But here's the problem. No cameras inside the house. No one stuck around to talk. And without footage or witness statements, the case had nothing solid to stand on. And in places like this, silence isn't just common, it's law. In the trenches, if you speak up, you don't just get labeled, you get marked. Nobody wants that. So even when folks know exactly what went down, lips stay sealed, the streets protect their own, even when it hurts. But that all changed. In July 2025, out of nowhere, the case cracked wide open. After months of heartbreak and rumors, both Fullychop and Lil Speedy were finally arrested, officially tied to what happened to Lil Kso. And for Kso's family, especially his mom, it wasn't everything, but it was something. A piece of justice they'd been praying for. It started on July 14th. Cops pulled over Fullychop in what looked like a regular traffic stop. Expired tags, suspended license, nothing major on the surface. But when they ran his name through the system, boom, it came back flagged. A warrant already in place linked directly to the December 2024 case. The same one that took Kso away. That's all it took. Chop was in cuffs before he even realized what hit him. No live, no comments, no comeback posts, just silence and steel. Then came Speedy. 2 days later, he was spotted outside a Walgreens. Witnesses say unmarked cars swarmed fast, boxed him in, and scooped him up before he could even move. He didn't stand a chance. And when the paperwork came out, it was deeper than anyone expected. What made the arrests even more wild were the rumors that came flooding in right after. The streets started buzzing with talk that Fullychop might have folded. Whispers turned to full-blown conversations. Some folks pointed to an old live stream where he allegedly let it slip that he gave up Kso's location. Others said he basically told on himself by flexing too hard online, taunting, posting cryptic captions, and moving loud when he should have been laying low. The receipts, they were everywhere. Meanwhile, Speedy's downfall came from what he left behind. Authorities tied shell casings found at the scene to him. Then there was that phone someone dropped during the chaos. Yeah, that turned out to be a big clue too. But what sealed it for many was his own Instagram story, the now infamous 3 hat emojis. For those who know, that wasn't just a flex, it was a coded message. And it sent a wave through the drill scene. By the time both Fullychop and Speedy were locked up, it wasn't just speculation anymore. It was real. Mugshots, court documents, jail talk. The vibe in the city changed. The clout they once chased online had turned into cold reality. The same internet that boosted their fame was now playing back every post, every lyric, every move like evidence. This wasn't just some rap beef gone too far. This was a neighborhood shifting in real time. The case of Lil Kso became a moment everyone had to pay attention to. It exposed how loyalty can be flipped into leverage, how betrayal could actually boost your status, and how one reckless move, online or in real life, can completely shift the balance of a whole city block. Kso's name might be gone from lives, but his story, it left a mark. And trust, it's far from over. This was just one chapter in a saga that's still unfolding behind bars, on timelines, and in courtrooms. So if you thought this was just another drill story, think again. This one changed everything. Hit that like, drop a comment, and subscribe if you're keeping up with the realest stories in the game, and stay locked in to see what's happening next in our hood.